What is up? It's your boy Jonni Shreve. I have BB Promos to tell like it is. Welcome back to another episode of Coaching Up. We're gonna coach up Chris Heria's how to do the perfect pull-up. Now I've already kind of watched the video, went through a couple things. He's got some really good points I'm gonna go over with some other things we need to kind of like break down because to be honest, for the most part, most of you guys cannot do a pull-up. Actually, I just had a training camp this weekend and the amount of people that can actually do pull-ups within that training camp were very small. So I'm gonna give you guys some ways to actually optimize being able to do a pull-up, a nice progression, some regressions. At the same time, people have asked a couple questions like, does it really matter in terms of like hand placement? What does it do? How does it affect your back? All those things. We're gonna go over that right now and get it done. So let's get started.
Today I'm gonna teach you how to do the perfect pull-up. The pull-up is one of the absolute best exercises for building strength and muscle in your upper back. It's personally one of my favorite exercises.
So going with this, we want to understand what the back actually does. So you guys remember, I'm gonna drill it in your heads. The lats, your teres major, mine are like right underneath here. They all connect from the hip, base right here on your hip, all the way up, and they attach to your humerus. And they do shoulder extension, right? They do this, right? So basically takes the arm here and pulls it down, pulls the muscle down, pulls the arm down like this. So we're doing this, any type of vertical pull, we're gonna hit that muscle.
You wanna start off slightly lean back, engaging your back and your rear delts, which is gonna allow a greater range of motion. You're gonna be pulling to your chest versus straight up and down, which would only give you a range of motion towards your neckline. You're not gonna nearly see as much results, strength, and benefits from the pull-up versus if you were actually pulling up all the way to your chest.
So a couple of cues he's talking about is like, okay, we wanna pull to the chest, but the way he's explaining it, the guy's a freaking phenom at calisthenics. So yes, we wanna pull to the chest here, but not here, right? Because the whole point of that is if we do that, they're gonna end up like retracting our scapulas and then we're actually doing almost like a row movement. So when I'm doing pulls, yes, he's right, keep the feet, everything, your torso straight, like a plank almost from here. And then we're pulling the chest up, all the way chest up, looking to the sky. Those are great cues for him. But when he does it, he gets all the way up from there. I can get all the way to here and down without pulling the bottom of my chest up. So when we're doing this movement, we really want to focus on just really making sure that the elbows come to the side of the body. Not pulling back, not pulling too far in front. We want it to basically go from here, pull this side, and down, pull your chest to the bar. And it's a really good cue to not, pull the chin up, because a lot of times we do the chin up, we do this thing. The only issue is when he's doing the explanation and showing you guys how to do it, he's so good at doing them that his range of motion for his entire rep, he gets all the way to here. So he gets himself all the way up. So you have this thing where he's here and up. Hey guys, check it out. A lot of what I'm talking about right now, I go over in depth with my clients and my athletes on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. We go over film study to make sure they're doing the form properly. So if you want to get involved, guys, hit the description below. Also, grab an ebook. A lot of information there, as well as this video. Back to the show. Which is fine for most. The only problem is most of you guys can't do it. It's too hard of a movement to do, and it'll kind of make you guys think too much about rowing, too much in pulling, and retract your scapulas that way. So a couple things. If you can't do a pull-up, obviously what I recommend, this is the best way I like to do them, to give yourself the same, the same stimulus as actually doing a pull-up, is give yourself a band. If you have an assisted pull-up machine at your gym, great. But I find sometimes with those, you have to put your knees on it and everything else. It kind of takes you out of a good alignment of being the most realistic replica of like doing this movement. So, right, get yourself a band that's gonna give yourself a lot of challenge. And then this is the way you can progressive overload, right? So you can start off with a really strong band. Say you start off with a green band. And then you progress from there. Then you get yourself, you downgrade to a lighter resistance band, then lighter and lighter until you can actually do a full pull-up. Now, ways so you can progressive overload, just think of like, we're trying to change your physique, sacrifice hypertrophy, try to do 10 to 15 reps with this. So what I'll do is, I'll put it around my foot, on my heel, and then I'll wrap the other foot underneath, just to keep it there. And I can extend my hip and I'm still straight, my glutes are engaged, I'm pulling up and I'm retracting, put my elbows to the side and down. And squeeze, and look up and try to bring your chest to the top. And pull. And pull. To give yourself a little more help, take this band, depending on what it is, you can put it all the way down to your feet, which I'm not gonna do right now because it'll make it that much easier.
There's also many different variations, and using these different grips and hand positions are gonna emphasize different areas of your back and just increase your overall pulling strength. So you wanna make sure to be utilizing all the different grips and variations as well.
To kind of go over what's the difference between using underhand grip, overhand grip, or neutral grip. Pull downs, pull ups, whatever. Doesn't matter. If you're using machine or whatever. The change of your hand does a couple things. Number one, we're gonna keep it with vertical pulls right now. If you're doing a vertical pull, the difference in hand grip is just basically gonna call on for different parts of the bicep or how much bicep help you're gonna get. So think of it this way. If I do a hammer curl, I would say a hammer curl is probably the strongest way to do a curl. And then I'll go from there to like a supinated curl, and then from there, pronated, which would probably be the weakest way to do a curl, right? In terms of like activation and whatnot. Now, when I'm this way, I'm getting less bicep. So it's gonna be a little more challenging, right? I can do a lot more this way than I can this way, right? Now, when I'm doing that, from here, I'm still wide, I'm pulling in and down. Same thing happens, right? My lats are still engaged, everything's fine. Now, when I start to supinate, so if we're doing underhand grip, here's where things kind of change a little bit. And the reason why I like doing underhand grip or some type of neutral grip is it forces a little bit of external rotation. Now remember, the teres minor does help with external rotation. So if I think about externally rotating, when I put my hands up and I go supinated, my grip starts to come inside and then I externally rotate from here, which will put more emphasis on my teres major and minor in this position than this. So if you want to make it a little harder or activate that much more, if your hands are in supinated position, you're gonna activate your teres minor that much more, this part here, because you're adding a load to what it's supposed to do. So that's the thing when it comes to like, training. We're just trying to put your body in the best position to add a load through its contraction. So yes, this way is still good and I'm still gonna engage my lats, my teres major and minor, but as soon as I supinate this way, I'm putting more stress on it and making it load that much more. So when it comes to doing like this is like a little bit of a neutral grip and has a little bit of internal rotation. So it's tiny bit supinating as it's not completely straight back this way. So when I'm here, my elbows go front and right away you can see just by doing this, my lats engage that much more than pulling up. And then down. Pulling up. And down. You can see the difference between this or this, right? Now for me to engage my teres major more, I'm gonna put pressure on the outsides of my hands. See, when I do this, just from doing this, you're seeing a change in how my back's activated. Just by pressing, I'm basically externally rotating while I'm pulling the bar. So you can still do it while you're pulling up, but you're gonna be in a weaker position because this is a harder way to do pull-ups. So if you want more activation, your teres major, minor, pretend you're trying to bend the bar this way. Like you're trying to bend it like this when you're pulling and you'll feel your lats, your teres on that much more. Now the difference between doing that, supinated, as you can see right away, how much my teres is turned on from being completely supinated and pulling down. And here I'm gonna get a lot more bicep help, pulling down and activation. It'd be almost the same if I did this. We're gonna get a lot of bicep help from here. Brachyradialis, brachii, pulling down. So I'm externally rotated from here and pulling. But again, it's still going to be a vertical pull. Where we place our hands is gonna determine how much bicep help we get. So the more supinated you go, the more emphasis you can have on the teres minor. A little part right here, teres major and minor, just to not be pedantic. Anyway, it's less often, more often we'll know, but it's definitely good to switch things up. Again, if you're someone who has a hard time activating your teres major minor, this part underneath your lats, and you're trying to build it more, and that's a place that you need to target. Maybe a judge said you want to get wider back, you need to get back width, or maybe you just want to like create more of a V taper. I suggest putting a lot of supinated pull-ups or chin-ups or pull-downs or whatever, any kind of vertical pull. I suggest doing some kind of supination while you're there, because that will definitely help. Now, going back to Chris Heria, great video, everything's great activation-wise, but we want to kind of move ourselves up. Sometimes you can't get bands and that'd be the answer for us to be able to progress, or maybe you don't have a assisted pull-up machine at your gym. So next thing I would like to do, if I don't have those things mentioned available in my gym, TRX row. One of my favorite things to do that can kind of keep in the same motion, but you're still gonna do a row in a sense. So yeah, I'm back here and I'm rowing. I'm gonna do a row, but the good thing about this is we can start a good progression. So from here, if I'm rowing, I'm gonna start from here and pull and row. And then once I can do the full amount, I'm gonna start getting closer. And then underneath, and all the way down until I'm here. And that can actually give you a little help on your pursuit to getting your first pull-up done. Let's go back. So a lot of you guys will be like, was it like more like a row instead of like a vertical? Yes, but it's gonna put you in the best position to really challenge your teres major and minor, help with your pull. And your lats do help with the pull. Like your lats do attach from all the way here, like I said, from your iliac crest or your hips all the way up into your arm, right here basically. And it does this, and it does do this. But from a vertical position, you're gonna get a lot more pulling from here, doing a TRX row to emphasize or emulate a pull-up. So again, from a proper pull-up, what we want, again, Chris is right, keep yourself under the bar. So we wanna get here, and we wanna pull the arms straight to the side of the body and bring the chest up. We don't wanna pull the arms back like this. We don't want to be too far and do this. Just think about those elbows being pulled right to the side of the body and down and bringing your chest to the top, looking to the ceiling when you're pulling. Now a couple of things too, to make it easier on yourselves, and it's not cheating, give yourself a pair of straps. A lot of time when we're doing this, it's hard for people to grip. Most time people fail, not necessarily because they're not strong enough for it, but they just don't have the grip strength. Or they just gas out because their forearms get gassed before they're allowed to do. Trust me, your lats have a lot more stamina than your forearm strength might have. So do yourself a favor, get yourself some straps. Then you're doing them, you'll really be able to focus on pulling with your elbow. And that's the whole point of having straps. And so we can think about pulling with this part instead of really thinking about always pulling with this. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys can take some of those tips and apply them to your next back day. Remember, if you want to get your back that much wider or activate more, the more external rotation or supination you go, you're gonna get that much more bicep help, but you're gonna put more of the load on the teres minor, right? Width. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, guys. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. You know, I'm coming to tell you this transparent, vulnerable truth for coaching, JonniShreve.com. If you want to know more about coaching, guys, 15 to 30-minute phone consult. At the end of that consult, I deduct it off any tax that you pick. And guys, check it out. Check the description below for those discount codes and promo codes to help save life or change life for the better. And guys, make sure you guys add me on TikTok and Instagram, guys. Send me your progress pics, your video clips, and your training clips. And I repost with you. So you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.